Hi everybody. Hi, Dorothy here. Today I'm going to talk to you about that upcoming eclipse on January 10th. I'm also going to fill you in on the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto. And we have a lot of activity, of course, in all of that Capricorn area. That eclipse is just a couple days before the conjunction. And so while as astrologers we love to delineate every little aspect and every little thing that's going on, everything this week, almost everything this week is like a bigger picture. Not necessarily about separating certain aspects. Look at the colors. The sun is shining. Yay. We love that. It's been kind of gloomy for a few days here in New England. So I want you to focus with me on the general story of what I'm going to fill you in on with the aspects and the movement of the planets for the week of January 6th all the way through the 12th. All right? I'm going to do that in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. So let's get started. We know we have an eclipse coming on January 10th, which is Friday, and we also have Saturn and Pluto coming to their conjunction on Sunday the 12th. But I want to start back on Monday the 6th, just for a minute. We have some things I want to work up to the eclipse here because it's important information. Because even though I like to delineate day by day in some weekly forecasts here, today I'm going to kind of group some stuff together a little bit because it's an overall feel of what's going on. Because just because an eclipse happens on a certain date and time period, the building up to it is the most important piece, because once we get to that peak, it is then complete, and then we get to use the energies once it's like we've gathered all the information, or in a food example, we've gathered all the ingredients and we've put everything together, and now it's time to eat the meal once the aspect has come to a peak, and then and then it separates. So working up, what are we gathering? If we were going to go grocery shopping, what will we be working with this week for the eclipse of January 10th? On January 6th, the moon is in the sign of Taurus. That's the second favorite place for the moon. The eclipse, moon in Cancer, is the first. That's its ruling sign. In Taurus, it's in its exaltation there. Loves this. Moon in Taurus is going to make a trine aspect to all of the Capricorn planets that are currently present. So Moon trine Saturn, Pluto especially makes us, and doesn't make us do anything, but the energy that we have helps us to set some goals, some real important goals. Moon in Taurus, very earthy, very grounded. It's not that we don't have feelings, because of course we do, but it helps us to really truly understand what we value. And with that trine aspect, which is easy and comfortable, this is a wonderful opportunity to set the pace for the week as we're moving towards these very important aspects and transits at the end of the week. This is the first week here, at least here in the US, North America, that we haven't had a holiday in the middle of the week for a couple of weeks. So now we're really wanting to set a routine and a pattern and really feel very solid and very grounded. I think this is an excellent way and an excellent setup for that Saturn-Pluto conjunction at the end of the week. So use Monday in a very productive way. Don't waste your time by doing things that are meaningless. Take your time and use it to do things that you know are very productive and have value to you. All right? Good. Moving on. Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, actually late Monday evening and all of Tuesday and all of Wednesday, the moon is now in Gemini. So with the moon in Gemini, this is an opportunity to share information, gather more information. Gemini loves to hear news and get information from all different sources. And then we like to share that information with others. And if you're not in the sharing mood, or that doesn't feel comfortable for you, at least take a lot of time and write down what your thoughts and your ideas are. All right. Moon in Gemini wants to do that. It wants to really understand what's going on. So while the moon is moving through that, we're really going to be asking a lot of questions and really seeking a lot of information. We're going to see that in our own personal worlds, and we will most likely see that out in the world around us because Gemini does rule news. So use that in whatever way it feels right for you. Now we're moving on to Thursday. Thursday morning, early in the morning before sunrise, the moon enters the sign of Cancer, her ruling sign, the sign that she's going to be eclipsed in. So emotionally, we're going to be sensitive and very feeling energy. This is very different than the moon in Gemini, which is very analytical. The moon in Cancer is incredibly feeling. We are very much focused on what's important for how I feel. How do I need to be cared for? What is my family situation? I'm not saying we have negative family situations going on. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. The point is, like our focus is to understand what we need to feel cared for, nurtured, and comforted, and what we can do for our families. All of us are wanting to do this, so we all should be doing it for each other. That moon in Cancer wants to feel very comforted and loved. And that's what we start with on Thursday morning. And it goes all the way through till the eclipse, which is Friday, January 10th. And that eclipse is actually at here in the East Coast of the United States. The eclipse is at 2:21 p.m. That's Eastern time. You'll need to adjust for where you live. So just before that full moon eclipse, Sun and Mercury are conjunct, right? That's a couple of hours before that. And so when Sun and Mercury in Capricorn is out of bounds, by the way, but he's still out there digging up all kinds of information. That's what Mercury in Capricorn wants to do. He wants the solid information. What is it that I really need to do? What's the most important thing that I do? It's like when I sit down and I try to figure out what I want to talk about with you guys and what I want to write out once a week. It's like, what is the most important pieces that I want to talk about in my observation, in my opinion? So this is what Mercury in Capricorn is doing for us. It makes that conjunction to the Sun, which it does that really quite often. And so we have an opportunity to really shine in what it is that we're setting up in regards to our communication. Now, the full moon happens just a little while later at 2:21 p.m. East Coast time. Full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer. This is a culmination of energy, a culmination of what has been going on for a very long time. Because there are lunar families that are called, and I've explained this in the past, but I'll do it again because who knows if you've heard that or not in my videos. The lunar family is a 3-year cycle. It starts with a new moon. 9 months later, there's the first quarter moon, then the full moon, and then we go to the fourth quarter, and then we're back to a new moon. This cycle takes 3 years, and those 4 things happen right around the same degrees. All right, which is significant. Don't leave me. Stay here. Which is significant. Because this full moon eclipse we have on January 10th matches a new moon eclipse we had July 13th, 2018. And also April 12th, 2019 was the first quarter moon right around 20 degrees of Cancer. And now we're having the full moon eclipse at 20 degrees of Cancer. What was going on in July 2018 would come to some sort of awareness in April 2019, and now January 10, 2020, it has come to a complete fullness. What did you learn back then? What was going on in your life back in July 2018 relating to how you feel, family, connections, those types of things? Now, I know some people will say, oh, well, that was something bad, or what is this good or bad? And it's neither. Because, I look back to that time period, and personally, it was just a few weeks before this, I lost a good friend. She passed away. And so what did it teach me? Is that going to happen again in January? No, it's not going to happen again in January, or this week, actually. It's not going to happen again. But what I learned is like I learned to honor my friendships a little bit more, to take that extra step towards telling my friends how I feel and what's important with that emotional support that you get, that I get from friends. Now for you, it could be friends, it could be family. So I just want you to realize, because I do get a lot of comments when I say dates like this, and some people, have a very hard time because some negative things have happened. And I recognize that, and I honor that, and I know that if you can step back and look at the lesson that you learned, or what was the one good piece that you could get from whatever was going on in that time period, I want you to do that, all right? So try that, do that for yourself, and it would be very helpful. You can see what this eclipse is going to do for you too. Because again, this full moon eclipse on January 10th is a culmination of everything that we've been doing for the last 18 months in regards to these emotional pieces around family, friends, and those that we care for and we love, and how we want to take care of them. Because this eclipse is also with that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And that Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which is on Sunday, and it happens just before noontime here in the East Coast of the US. The point is like they've been coming together for a very long time. Saturn and Pluto have been in this dance by declination since January 2016. But just by now, by their conjunction in the zodiac, they are really peaking, right? It's really coming together. And since it's all coming together, it is like, what is not working? And you've already should have discovered this, but what really is coming to the surface, what has not worked for a very long time in our lives, it is time for us to let that go. That is that destruction of what Pluto will do. Pluto comes through and it just pulls everything up from the bowels of wherever and just brings it to the surface. So we have to address it and say, am I going to transform this? That's Pluto. Or am I going to release this? That's also Pluto. Saturn is now coming and it's going to pass Pluto just after this conjunction. And that means now what do I need to build? Saturn and Capricorn. How am I building from here? What remains and how am I building from here? And again, this eclipse is just right with these guys. They're not but a couple of degrees away from each other. So that means if we come from a place of centered understanding, we come from a pure, true, heart-centered place, then we will be able to use these energies in the most productive way that we can. Each of us are individuals, so what does that look like for you? I'm simply rediscovering what I believe in myself and what I was taught as a child. Do I still believe that? I'm almost 60, and we all still have stuff that's in there, right? That's what our moons do to us. They bring us things and they bring us information so we're able to decide, is this true for me now? And so for me, it's just my beliefs, because this is all going on in my ninth house. It's like, what do I believe in? I believe in what? And I'll fill in the blank. Why do I believe in that now? So I'm conquering fears. I'm conquering things that, have made me feel insecure in the past. So what are you doing? How do you feel you're conquering a fear or discovering where you are even stronger, that's poor English, that's bad grammar, and where you are strongest, and how you want to step up into your own strength and power and take this new year, 2020, it's a 4 numerology, it is a nice, solid, strong year, and take this energy so you can build a better future for you, for your career, for your family, for those you love, and those you want to support. That's it for now. Thank you very much. Come to my website, nhastrologer.com, to read more classes, private sessions, lectures, all kinds of great stuff. Come find me on Patreon as well. I would love your support. Namaste.